Begin with this story. The ANC in the Western Cape today expected to host its much-awaited elective conference. Proceedings are scheduled to resume at this hour after delays because of logistical problems. Leaders attributed the delays to registration and replacement of delegates. The conference has seen several postponements over the past few years as the requirement to hold 70% of branch general meetings had not been met. The ANC is hoping to rescue its electoral chances in the Western Cape, where its support has dwindled over the past decade or so. Secretary General Fikile Mbalula is due to deliver the opening address at that conference. Let's go live now to our reporter Athi Mtongana, who's live there for us. Athi, tell us about the delays yesterday and why it was that they were unable to get things going.
Well, they were unable to get things going due to logistical problems that they encountered yesterday. One of the biggest regions, that being the Dala Omar region, had not completed registering the delegates from that particular region, and so they were trying to conclude with that. The registration is taking place at the provincial office of the ANC in the Western Cape, which is around the city of Cape Town, while the conference is taking place at a different venue at the Cape Town International Convention Center where we are. So they experienced that particular delay, and then they also had to deal with the issue of credentials, which we were told was being sorted out by the interim provincial committee. The interim provincial committee, of course, is a structure that was established shortly after the disbanding of the provincial executive committee. So the IPC had been meeting throughout yesterday, not only looking at the issue of credentials, but also looking at the reports, the political reports, the financial reports, all the reports that will be tabled before the conference today. So what we're expecting now in the next few minutes is for the party to brief members of the media so as to know when exactly today's program will start, because we know yesterday there were many delays. They told us at the beginning that it was going to start at 12 in the afternoon, and then it was moved to 2 p.m. and then it was almost like indefinite, because at that point they were really trying to get some of the delegates out of the hotel rooms because they had actually gone back to the hotels around the city of Cape Town. And another issue that the IPC convener Lerumo Kalago pointed to yesterday, which also factored in the reason why they had to postpone the opening to today, was how they saying that they discovered that some of the delegates have come to the conference, particularly at the hotels, with their friends. And so they found that some of the registered delegates, like the Women's League and the veterans, for example, did not all have accommodation. So they had to try to sort out the accommodation as well, because this conference is actually mainly funded by the ANC at a national level, and some of the donors that normally fund the African National Congress, that's according to the ANC in the Western Cape. So they paid for accommodation, they paid for the hall, and so they were trying to sort that issue out. They were trying to sort registration out, they were trying to sort credentials out, and we're hoping today that the Secretary General, Fikile Mbalula, will finally give those opening remarks before the some 700 delegates that will be here today, and tomorrow President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to close it off.
And actually, briefly, because I know that you're on standby for that briefing, but it's a crucial conference for the ANC in the Western Cape, because it absolutely has to get its house in order to be prepared to contest the national election next year.
A very, very important task that is upon the ANC in the Western Cape. Like I said, they didn't even have a PEC. Their provincial executive committee was disbanded. They were working through the IPC. They were meant to go into conference shortly after the PEC was disbanded in 2019. But of course, they pointed out to the issue of COVID-19 the following year, 2020, as part of the delay. And then they also highlighted the local government elections as part of the other reason which caused a delay, insofar as them not being able to convene a conference. Another issue is the branch general meetings threshold of 70%. They have only now met that threshold, Temekile, because you will recall that many provinces across the country had gone into conference before Nasrec. The Free State and the Western Cape were among those that could not go into conference, and we understand that the Free State has gone into conference now, and that's obviously after Nasrec, and now the Western Cape is saying they've met the 70% threshold, and that's why they are able to convene here with all the branches in the regions. In fact, we're expecting the contest to be quite tough as to who they will elect as the next leadership of the ANC in the Western Cape that will take them forward in the build-up to the 2024 general elections. Who are we talking about here? We're talking about people that are going to have to represent the diversity and the unique environmental challenges that people in the Western Cape are contending with. The people that have already, whose names have already been put out there: Cameron Dugmore, he's the leader of the ANC in the provincial legislature. We spoke to him yesterday. We also spoke to Richard Danke, the chairperson of the Section 194 committee in Parliament. He's a member of Parliament in the ANC in the National Assembly. We spoke to him too. He's also in the running in that position of being a chairman. We also have heard that Lerumo Kalago might have not made it to the top 5 candidates that whose names will be made public once the official program starts. So the person or the people that would have to be elected today have a very big task in ensuring that they rebuild and rebuild that trust of the ANC in some of the strongholds of the ANC in the Western Cape, particularly in the Cape Metro, where that trust has really been lost through the dwindling support over the years, and certainly in the local government elections that we saw in 2021.
Now, we thank you. For now, we'll come back to you hopefully later with a bit more from the briefing. For now, thank you, Athi.